A cold wind swept across the Norfolk shoreline as crowds of Marines, sailors, and contractors pushed into the late-night bars along the water. Inside a dim place known as the Rusted Anchor, the noise of clinking glasses mixed with loud music and the smell of ocean air drifting through the cracked windows. No one paid much attention to the quiet woman sitting alone in the corner. She wore simple jeans and a black jacket. Her hair was tied back in a loose knot and her expression carried a calm that did not match the chaos around her. Her name was Captain Maya Rourke, but nobody in that bar knew that. To them she looked like any ordinary woman trying to avoid attention. In reality she was one of the most skilled undercover operators in a classified special forces unit known only to a handful of people in the government. She was in that bar for a reason. A smuggling pipeline was using local Marines as unknowing transport carriers, and tonight an important link in that chain was expected to appear. Maya sat with perfect stillness, but her senses absorbed every sound and movement. She heard arguments from the pool table, footsteps of drunk patrons, the bartender's heavy sigh, and the subtle whisper of a conversation happening behind her. She was not here to cause a scene. She was here to watch and wait. Then the door slammed open and Sergeant Cole Maddox walked in with 3 Marines at his back. He had a reputation for being an excellent fighter and a loyal soldier, but he also had a temper that alcohol only made worse. Tonight that temper had already been stirred by a disastrous training review that left him frustrated and embarrassed. He wanted someone to blame, someone to challenge, someone to punch. His eyes wandered through the room until they landed on Maya. Her calmness irritated him instantly. She looked too still, too unaffected, too confident. In his drunken mind he saw it as disrespect. He stormed to the bar, demanded whiskey, and then approached her seat. She did not react. He tapped the counter loudly beside her and told her she was sitting in his spot. She answered quietly that there were many empty seats and she did not intend to move. Her tone was polite but firm. That firmness only fueled him. He leaned closer, his face tight with irritation. He told her again to get up. She finally stood, not out of fear, but to avoid escalating the situation. However, Cole misread her calm movements as weakness. He stepped forward to block her path and without any warning shoved her hard on the shoulder. The entire bar fell silent in an instant. His friend stared with a mix of shock and anticipation. Maya did not stumble from the shove, but she felt the weight of the decision she had to make. She was undercover and could not reveal the extent of her training. But she also could not allow a violent Marine to assault her. She took a slow breath. Cole stepped closer again and barked at her, insulted that she had not reacted the way he expected. She asked him clearly to move aside. He only grew angrier. He grabbed her arm, which was the final line. In one fluid motion she rotated her wrist, applied pressure on his thumb, and flipped his arm inward. Cole dropped to his knee instantly, gasping in shock. The entire bar stared. Maya released him quickly, hoping he would take the chance to back off. But humiliation burned deeper than pain. He got up shaking with fury and swung a punch at her. She sidestepped effortlessly. Her movements were so smooth that most people could not even follow them. She locked his wrist, pivoted behind him, and pushed him forward into the bar counter. His breath caught in his chest and he grunted in surprise. She told him to stop, but he refused to listen. His pride would not allow him to accept defeat in front of his friends. One of the other Marines charged toward Maya. She grabbed the nearest chair, blocked his shoulder, swept his leg, and brought him to the floor in seconds. Everyone watching felt chills run down their spine. This was not the reaction of an ordinary woman. Even Cole felt fear for the first time that night. He demanded to know who she was. She did not answer. Before the situation escalated further, two naval military police officers entered. The bartender had called them when he sensed trouble. The lead officer recognized Maya instantly and addressed her with respect. Cole stared, confused. The man had just called her ma'am with the tone reserved for superior officers or high-level operatives. She told the officer she was on assignment and needed the bar cleared. He obeyed without hesitation. People were ushered outside until the bar became nearly empty. Cole approached her again, humbled, still massaging his wrist. He apologized in a quiet voice. She did not respond to his apology. She simply reminded him to control his anger before it destroyed more than just a night at a bar. Then she walked toward a booth where a group of suspicious men had been observing everything. They stood quickly when they saw her coming. Maya blocked their path. Their eyes darted toward the back exit of the bar. Then they ran. Maya pursued instantly. Cole followed without even understanding why he was doing it. Something inside him told him this was bigger than a bar fight. In the back alley, a man lunged at Maya with a concealed blade. Cole shouted a warning. She caught the attacker's wrist, twisted it, disarmed him, and knocked him down with a swift strike. Another suspect tried to escape, but Cole tackled him into a dumpster, pinning him until the military police arrived. Maya zip-tied the last man using straps she carried inside her jacket. She handed the suspects over to the authorities and prepared to disappear again. Cole stood beside her, breathing hard. He had never seen anything like her. He asked one more time who she was. She only answered that she was doing her job. Then she left the alley and followed a signal she had detected in one of the confiscated phones. That phone led her to an abandoned marina on the far side of the bay. It was a silent place, lit only by broken street lamps and the moon reflecting over the water. Cole, still restless from the night's events, somehow found his way there too. He noticed her cornered by three armed traffickers near a warehouse and reacted without hesitation. His shout distracted them long enough for Maya to dive behind a stack of crates. Gunfire echoed across the dock. Cole ducked behind a barrel. She called to him from across the dock, half frustrated and half surprised that he had followed her. Together they advanced. Cole covered the upper angles while Maya moved low and swift. One trafficker tried to flank them and Maya took him down silently. Cole disarmed another, his marine training finally put to good use. The last suspect tried to run, but Maya caught him before he reached the boat. She tackled him to the wooden planks and restrained him until more federal agents arrived. They took the men into custody and thanked her for crippling a major smuggling network. She handed over the confiscated phone and briefed them on the remaining targets. Cole stepped forward as she prepared to leave. He asked if he would ever see her again. She replied that if he did, it would mean danger was near, so it was better if he never did. For the first time that night she allowed a faint, almost hidden smile. She walked toward the convoy and disappeared inside. Cole watched her vanish into the shadows of the marina. He stood still, humbled, changed, and quiet. He had started the night as a man filled with anger, ready to fight anyone who looked at him wrong. He ended it with a deep respect for a woman he would never fully understand. And somewhere out there, far away from the lights of the marina, Captain Maya Rourke continued her secret mission in a world made of silence and shadows.